Okay, thanks. I am going to call the Parks and Conservation meeting. What is their date today? Of August 4th to order. We continue, as I think that you can all see, we're continuing to meet virtually, although we are working on our hybrid model. So some of us are here in chambers. If you would, the public is still attending virtually. If you would like to make public comment, I will be calling for comment on the items on the agenda as well as not on the agenda. If you're on the phone, you can press *9 to raise and to lower your hand. If you would like to leave a voicemail for all of council, you can call 406-552-6012, or you can leave us an email at council@ci.missoula.mt.us. So I think we're going to go ahead and start with a roll call, please.
Okay, can you hear me, Amber?
I can.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, Anderson?
Yes.
Anderson is present. Becerra?
Sarah's having some technical difficulties. She is here and will be on soon. Present.
Okay. Contos?
He's absent today.
Harp?
Present.
Hess?
Present.
Jones?
Present.
Merritt?
Present.
Ramos?
Present.
Cheryl?
Present.
Becerra?
Present.
Von Lossberg?
Here.
West?
Here.
Okay, and we do have a quorum.
Great, thank you. We need to approve the minutes from July 21st, and those minutes are kind of important as we move forward in today's meeting because we are continuing that discussion. Are there any amendments to those minutes? Seeing none, those minutes will stand approved. And is there any public comment? I do not see anyone in the public in attendance. So we'll move on in that portion as well. So a couple weeks ago, we did the interviews for the energy and the climate team. We were having discussion on the different candidates. Again, I want to say thank you to all of those that are willing to volunteer their time for this issue and for issues in the city. I really appreciate that. I think we had a group of excellent candidates that was going to be very hard to decide between. And I think that we needed a little bit more information in order to decide who fit best into this team. That was the team that's already established. So that information, the bios on everyone on the current energy and climate team had been sent around, and hopefully everyone got a chance to look at that. So, with some advice of counsel, I was trying to figure out how exactly we want to start this meeting. We left with a motion by Ms. Jones to appoint Jonathan Carlin to serve as a regular member and to reappoint Chris Rowe as a regular member for the Energy and Climate Team. So I think I'm going to go ahead, and since that motion is on the floor, I'm going to go ahead and continue conversation around that motion and comments on that motion. And then Karina, I'm going to go ahead and do a roll call vote and see where we get, and if we want to continue with other discussion after that, depending on the outcome of it, we can go from there. And I see Julie Merritt, your hand is up. Go ahead.
Is this an appropriate time to propose an amended motion? Or alternative motion, actually?
I think that would be fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I actually would like to amend that motion, or I'm not sure what the proper term is. I would like to put Jenny Dixon forth as a candidate, along with reappointing Chris Rowe. In looking at the existing team, all of the appointed citizen members it's all men, and we're in the midst of talking about this justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion resolution. And it seems to me, when we have Jenny is an excellently qualified candidate, and we've got two well-qualified candidates. We've got multiple well-qualified candidates, but between Jonathan Carlin, who Gwen nominated, and Jenny Dixon, I think they are both well-qualified. And to me, I just feel strongly about taking steps when we have what appear to be somewhat equally qualified candidates to include more diversity on our on these volunteer boards when we have the opportunity to do so. So I feel very strongly about that and wanted to put that out there. Thanks.
Okay, so I don't think I want to be sure I'm following protocol. I don't think that would be a friendly amendment. I think we're going to need to see if Gwen would accept that, which do you want to weigh in there, Gwen? Because that would be a new motion. And I think what we're going to do is take comments on the existing motion. We're going to vote on that. And then to me, that's a completely separate motion. But if I need some advice here from someone that knows protocol better, I'm happy to take that.
I think to be a friendly amendment, I would accept that, and basically it would usurp the entire motion. And so I don't accept it as a friendly amendment. It would be a separate motion made subsequent to this motion, since it's an either or situation. I think procedurally that's the way I would see it. And I appreciate the motion, Julie, but don't accept it as a friendly amendment.
Okay, that doesn't seem to be how we've done this in the past with other appointed. So I don't know if that does not seem at all in keeping with what we've done in the past.
So let me just get back into the order of these questions and things. That's my memory actually, is that we do vote on the motions, and I think it is an appropriate time right now for everyone to make comments on that motion. And if it's a motion that they don't fully support, as I understand that you don't, then I think that's great. Make those comments and give us your reasoning now, and then we will vote on the motion as it's been put on the floor. I want to make a quick comment. I absolutely appreciate Julie's sentiment to have diversity. When you look at just the makeup of the committee, I think it can for sure look like it is male dominated. Since I am the Parks and Conservation Chair, I am part of that committee, and I have a leadership role in that committee. And Lee Ratterman, who is the city staff, is also a female in that committee. So in my personal opinion, being part of it, it does not feel off balance as much as maybe it would seem. But I feel like there are a lot of good candidates here. So I am going to go to Heather.
Thank you. At some point, I would like an opportunity to make another motion, but I will speak to this particular one. I really appreciated Megan getting to us all the different applications that people have applied that currently are on this particular team of 7. We've had 4 additional candidates. I made a matrix in Excel to kind of really break it down so that I better understood the makeup of this committee as it stands today. And of those 7, 100% are men. Julie is right about that. Additionally, 100% of them have all done some community service, and I thank you all for that. When it comes down to their backgrounds in terms of who they are employed by, 3 of the 7 are employed by the University of Montana, 1 is employed by the county, and 3 are employed by the private sector. So by and large, I'd say it's pretty even. But when it comes down to actually implementing climate action work plans that we can actually stand behind, I don't have any testament to that. And when I think about the JEDI resolution that we were just talking about and what we will be considering as City Council of justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion, one of the areas that always gets overlooked is a difference of opinion and particularly political ideologies. We know climate change is real. Adding another scientist to this group of 7 would tip the scales even further. And not to say that science doesn't matter, because we all believe that, but now it's time, as we can see with our smoke-filled skies, that we actually put someone on this team that has experience in implementing plans at the local level. And that person is Chad Bauer. And even I know Jonathan comes with an incredible resume, but we are past the point of trying to convince people that climate change is real. It is time that we start actually doing something about it. I will not be supporting this motion.
Thanks. And I also just want to add that I really appreciate all of my colleagues' feelings about these candidates, because this is a hard one, as we're seeing. This is even harder than some that we've done because we have a lot of good candidates, and I appreciate everyone's comments on it. So Stacy, go ahead.
Thanks so much, Madam Chair. I actually will be supporting the motion that is on the floor right now. I was super impressed with all of the candidates who applied and really feel like this is an important committee. But to me, I was very impressed with Jonathan, and in all 3.5 years on council, I do believe that he's the only one who actually followed up his interview with a thank you note, like you would in a yes, Heather, I know that doesn't really matter to you, but I thought it was impressive to me because it really showed he took it very seriously. If all things are equal, it's small things like that that make a difference. And I know you may not appreciate that, and that's fine, but I'm entitled to my opinion on this at the moment. So I have also know several people who are in the MPA program with him and said that he is the most outstanding student in that program. And to me, those are the types of things, when all things are considered equal, that put someone over the edge. So I will be supporting Jonathan in the motion that is on the floor right now.
Thanks. And I appreciate those comments as well. I appreciated the fact that he did more than just say thank you. He actually added some other pieces to what he had said. So Jordan.
Thanks. We've got 4 good candidates here. We've got and it's a incredibly beneficial position to be in. I am sensitive to the concerns raised. I'm going to continue to support Jonathan for the reasons I mentioned last week or 2 weeks ago. I've come to know him over the last 1.5 years and find him to be incredibly thoughtful and intelligent and a bridge builder. He did a lot of work at the legislature to pass a bill in a bipartisan nature, which speaks to the concerns that Heather brought up about bridging gaps between different ideologies. So I'm really, I think we would be incredibly fortunate to have him in this capacity. Thanks. And I have a question, I guess, for the chair, and that is, can you clarify this? Are we taking care of the original motion first and then? Okay.
Thanks for
Thanks.
asking that. We are going to take care of the original motion first unless there is a friendly amendment to the existing motion that Gwen accepts, because I think it would be very chaotic to do it in any other manner. I just want to add, as having sat on this committee, sitting on this committee, and I agree, Heather, I appreciate you doing the spreadsheet. I like that. That we definitely have scientists on this committee. But I think one of the things that as we are looking at how to use this committee with, when the committee was originally formed, we didn't have Climate Smart Missoula. We didn't have Lee Ratterman's position. So it has been something that I think that this committee, as you may have seen by some of my answers last week, one of the things we're trying to figure out where this committee fits in, and we do have this brain trust in these different skill sets. And so one of the things we've been really working on is how to make this committee really effective. And I do think someone that has what my understanding is the skill set that from my understanding that Jonathan has, could be really helpful in that piece of this. So I want to put that out there. It is definitely something that we are working on as a committee and trying to figure out how we work in this new environment as things change, and how we can be effective, and what is a pressing issue and how we can utilize them. Go ahead, Jesse.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Geez, this is a lot more contentious than I thought. I just wanted to state real quick that I supported Chad. I think Chad is a great guy, and I agree with Ms. Harp. I think the diversity of thought is incredibly important on a lot of these boards, and I think Chad is somebody that gets along with everybody. Super nice guy. And he's somebody that I think can really be on the ground to implement some of these changes. I know that we have kind of the ideological thoughts with climate change, and certainly I believe in climate change, but I think that having somebody that actually deals with the boots on the ground in the waste management business, we're going to need partners like that if we want to make any sort of dent in pollution. We need people that have actually been there and done it and can explain to the group what the real world solutions might look like when you have to weigh profit, you have to weigh loss, you have to weigh employment, you have to weigh all these various different aspects. And it's something that I think that the scientific community, although they know really well the science, I don't think they really understand the economic or necessarily the political aspects of it like somebody like Mr. Brower would. So I think we have to ask ourselves, what's the point of the climate group? Is it to set lofty goals, or is it to actually implement these by getting into industry, getting into business, and seeing how we can work with these different industries within our community to actually make something like this not only feasible, but profitable and economically enticing enough for these businesses to get on board with something to where they actually try and make a change and do something better. I mean, I think that that's the struggle that the climate groups have had throughout their entire work is that it's these lofty goals that are hard to implement. I think we need strategies on the ground right now. And I think somebody like Mr. Bauer really brings that to the table. So I just wanted to add my 2 cents on that. And I will not be supporting the current motion, but will be supporting Ms. Harp's motion on this. Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse. And I want to just reiterate that I feel very strongly that any of these candidates would add to this committee. So this has been a hard one for me as well. But I would say that, they're not going to be the policy setting body. So I think that we really need someone that kind of is stronger in organizing the organizational piece. And I feel like Jonathan is going to be that person, but I could go back and forth. I could sit here and talk myself into just about any of them right now, to be quite honest. So I'm going to, if there are no more comments from council, I'm going to go to public comment that is on the motion that is on the floor. And we have a number ending in 307. If you would like to make a public comment on the motion on the floor, please press *9 and that will raise your hand. Okay, so I wanted to give the caller a moment to Oh, wait, they did it. Okay, so caller ending in 307, you should be able to unmute yourself now and make a public comment. If you would keep it to under 3 minutes, that would be great.
Thanks, Amber. This is Chris Rowe. I'm the chair of the committee, and I decided to come on just to hear this discussion today about our new member, and I'm also up for being reposted to the committee. And so I think it's really important that we do recognize that the committee has been undergoing a lot of change recently, and of trying to find a way to be more involved, more practical, and actually working toward achieving some of these lofty goals that were noted. So I'm looking forward to working with whoever you guys appoint, and I understand there's a lot of good candidates, and that's a tough call. But I think what we're really working on here is a way to move things forward, and Amber has certainly been very instrumental in that, as has Lee. And so I think we're making good progress. We aren't where we want to be yet, but hopefully we'll be getting there in the coming months. And I certainly appreciate all the work that this committee has done in interviewing folks and all the thoughtful comments about what this committee can and should do. And so I just wanted to say thanks for that. And I look forward to continuing to work with this committee, with Amber, and with the team to try to move some of the city's climate change goals forward. So that's all. Thanks, Amber.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I appreciate you coming to make comment. And I really appreciate, as we're talking about volunteers, that you have kept kept working on this, and we're making some good progress. So I really appreciate that. If there are no other comments or questions from council, we're going to do a roll call vote on that. At that point in time, if we do not have a majority, we will go to the next motion. So Karina, could you do a roll call vote?
Yes. Anderson?
Yes.
Anderson votes yes. Becerra? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
So no.
No. Becerra votes no. Harp?
No.
Harp votes no. Hess?
Yes.
Hess votes yes. Jones?
Yes.
Jones votes yes. Merritt?
No.
Merritt votes no. Ramos?
No.
Ramos votes no. Cheryl?
Yes.
Cheryl votes yes. Vaseka?
No.
No. Vaseka votes no. Von Lossberg?
Yes.
Von Lossberg votes yes. West?
Yes.
West votes yes. That is 6 yeses and 5 nos.
Okay, so that motion passes. I know some of these discussions are hard, and I know people think about building things in different ways. And so I just want to say I respect and appreciate everyone's comments. And that is our only agenda item. Let's see, double check here. Okay, that's the one I was thinking about the most for sure. Okay, so the parks, thank you everyone, and the Parks and Conservation Committee will be adjourned. Hey, would you guys